All right, I dug out the Scalextric collection today that was in one of these tubs. I actually had this tub with me. This was here in storage. We didn't have room in the condo to put everything, so I got a storage facility down here in Patia, and this tub was in it, this red tub. So that's different than all the blue tubs that are over there. That just came from Chiang Mai on Sunday. That's all track and my toolbox, which was stupid of me. I should have kept the toolbox with the cars. But anyway, this is my Scalextrics. I went through them this morning, took them all out of the tub and kind of sorted it. And, right up front, it's not Scalextrics. As I mentioned, I have some fly and some slotted. So these two Lolas, the white and the blue, are both fly cars. Same model, same car. A weight underneath the rear axle there. Not stock. You can see those wheels are way out. So I'm going to have to play with it a little bit, adjust it. I got a year basically here in this pool villa. So I'll be tinkering with these cars on and off over the next year. The Marco 600, I really like this car. Remember when I bought it, I kept looking at it, and I finally bought it. That's also fly. So that's probably the one I'll actually modify first before the Lolas, just because I like it. I can't chip it because you see the motor. I don't know if that's all flies. I'll check real quick with the Lola. No. Yeah, the motor's back here. So I could chip this one. And then you get down to, in that case, can I put the body on the different chassis? They're identical. Looks about the same. The two screws up near the brush, right, to put the body on, and then the one in the rear. So, yeah, this one has a pod, a motor pod. The Lola, this doesn't, and has the motor up front, which, if you remember a long time ago, if you watched the initial video, when I unboxed this, the motor was pushing down, and so I opened it up and fixed it. It's sitting flat now, but anyway, yeah, I really like that car. I really like that body. So what I might wind up doing is putting one of the Lola chassis underneath it, and so I could chip it. The Ninko, I'll be working on this one too. This, I told you this from the minute I got it. It was a GT40 in the Gulf livery, and I painted, which I already had. That came with the one of the two sets I bought. I have two GT40s, one light blue, one dark blue. So I went ahead and sacrificed the Ninko to be the Bulldog car. Go Georgia Bulldogs. And one of the reasons is it's an angle winder. It is, as of right now, which might change in the near future, as of right now, it's the only angle winder car I have. All the Scalextrics and flies and slotteds are either sidewinders or inline. My Corvette collection I mentioned, there's two of them right here. One's just an extra body, like a spare body, because I like flames, I like Corvettes. So I bought like a dead empty chassis, no motor. So if I ever want to mess around with the Scalextrics chassis, that I have an extra chassis. The idea was to rebody maybe one of the digital cars, but that would be Scalextrics digital. So I don't know, maybe put a faster motor in it, not the 29K or 30Ks that I have, maybe like a 21K, 21.5K. I think that will run better on a short track than a super high RPM motor. However, I'll show you in a minute my other 30,000 RPM motors. So I will get those cars chipped and running, or put the analog in. I ran into a small problem with that, which I'll show you. The Porsche, called the Philly Flyer. There you go. I'm taking it off so you can see it a little bit better. The guy Jeffrey, who sent me a bunch of extra track and bought me the GTE for my birthday. When I said I was going to sell everything, he said, please don't sell my two favorite cars, that being the Toyota, which is a slotted, and the Porsche, which is a slotted. He's the same way I'm a Bulldog fan, right, and have the Georgia Bulldog car. He's a Philly Flyer hockey fan, and so he made this a Philly Flyer car. Let me get some of the tape off here. You can kind of see it there on the top. There you go. That's the Philly Flyer logo. So he said, please keep those two cars. And when he moves to Thailand next year, he's going to get a track. And since I got Carrera, I've been showing him, I've been sending him the videos I make, and he's going to wind up getting Carrera too, because it's the same problem. He's a Scalextric guy. He's the one who gave me a bunch of Scalextric track in good condition that he had in storage. And of course, in storage in America, it was fine. Here, he's aware of the rust problem, so he's probably going to go Carrera next year when he moves. So those are those two in the middle, and I'm holding them for, even though I kept all my cars and changed my mind after I went to Roland's to race. So he wants those cars. I'm going to give them back to him. Those are his. They're slotted, and they both have the 30,000 RPM, 30,000 RPM red motor. There it is. You can see it sticks through the plastic. Okay, now these other Scalextrics that are here, the 4 LMP cars, the Ferrari, the Camaro, those are all stock Scalextrics without the door. I showed on the last video the DPR door that you put the Carson chip in. None of these are digital ready. They're all just plain stock. I'll show you the Ferrari. It's a perfect example. Just a stock Scalextrics with no door. You'd have to cut a hole in it to make it digital. And this is a perfect car. Why would I chip this when I have so many nicer cars? I mean, it's a Ferrari, but it's a kind of a budget Ferrari. It's sort of a low level. It's not like super detailed, and it's just it's a toy. This is a perfect example of a toy car as opposed to a hobbyist car or a scale racing car, like some of these, like these. I'd even consider the Fly a scale racing car, more than Scalextrics or Pioneer. And Carreras are toys too, but as I've said before, they're beautiful toys. Anyway, that's what these are. So I have 2, 4, 6 stock Scalextrics that are not digital ready. These two are F1 cars. I only have 2. I only ever bought 2, and I did go ahead and buy chips. I already have chips that I have to solder in, waiting for them. Next to those two is a Maserati and a Viper, and those are Scalextrics digital cars. Like, I've been buying all these digital Carrera cars. Well, these two, after I bought the Arc Pro, I went ahead from Action Racing, Action Slots. So you see, they don't have the DPR door, but they do have the electric eye to pick up the Scalextric track. So I'm guessing to run these on the Carrera track, I would have to open up the body from the chassis and replace, desolder the electric components from the Scalextrics and replace it with one of those chips. So that's the beginning or whatever the collection. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 cars here. And again, two of them are Jeffrey's, so they're not really mine. So really, I only have 17 cars because I am going to give Jeffrey his cars, his 2 slotteds back when he comes to Thailand. So there's 17 of mine here. And then I'll have the rest inside on the track, and I'll show you what I'm doing with those. Okay, the dark side racetrack seems a little different than last time you saw it. First of all, I cleaned it up, which I mentioned. You got a little work area over here, put the cars over here. And again, I'm just holding down the paper, because it was curling up, the sandpaper. I'm going to use that for tire chewing. It's 80 grit sandpaper, very aggressive. Before I get into the cars, I want to show you the problem I had with the Evolution. The only straight track I had available was the piece between this curve and the start of the pit lane. And as you see, because it has the base that you plug into, that extra piece off the track, I can't put the curve, the little white slanted grip thing onto, it's not going to fit. I could, I guess, unscrew the back. If you've never seen the back of these, they have a cover, you see, right there. So I'd have to unscrew those 6 screws and unscrew here and here, pull apart this track, put in that white thing in here, and then close it back up. That's possible. Or I came up with this idea last night. I can disconnect the track right there, take out that straight under the bridge, and now under the bridge would be the exit of the pit lane. Just shove this all down one straight and connect the end of the pit to that other straight underneath there. That would leave a one straight opening here that I could then, well, they would go here. And of course that would be down. Remember that this piece here with the pit would be down here where the straight line is. Start would be down there and the exit would be under the bridge. I think I could live with that, and that puts the controller right here for when I go analog. Roland, my mentor in all things slot racing, said I could open up the back of this guy, not my digital, but this one, and basically unclip the wires, take everything out, and just leave it as straight and put it in. That would get it in. And then he said there's a way to run the digital analog, and you use your cell phone as the lap thing, like the eye. It works with the Smart Race software that I have, and I do have Smart Race on this one. So he was saying through Smart Race I can keep the CU and run analog. So that's another option too. Out of everything so far, I'm thinking probably I'm going to move it down, because I don't mind the pit lane being under the exit of the pit lane being under the bridge, as long as the part where it's fueling is out here, and as long as the CU is out here, I'm okay with that. In fact, it's closer to the plug, which again, when I get the grass on and everything, I'm going to have to hide that. I'm going to put it under the table. So closer to the power is better, in my opinion. So anyway, that's just something I ran into with the Evo base. All those cars you've seen, of course, Carrera Digital and the Nighthawk, the mighty Nighthawk. So now you notice that next to the Castrol Jaguar, I think it's an XJR9. See if we can see it. Yeah, there it is. You can see it. Oh, this won't focus. There you go, Jaguar XJR9. And again, it has mirrors. It has a spoiler, a really cool looking spoiler that goes off the back there, and it's got side skirts like an old 1950 Mercury. I think what I might do, instead of going with the wider wheels, is get another body. Just get another. You can buy bodies for these cars, just like what they call a white kit. And I get a new body, and then get new. They also sell stickers too. get the livery stickers and make a new one using the original. Because it is, it's got the hot motor in it. It's a slotted chassis. They're tunable, So they're now another one that's been customized. Definitely have to put those wheels in. I mean, they shouldn't go outside the car body. They should be in a little bit, both of them. So and this tire doesn't fit that rim properly. So I got some work to do on this, but again, the reason it's sitting near the Jaguar is a Porsche, by the way. Nice looking Porsche. Nice detail, decent car. Those were probably the original wheels on it, I'm thinking. And like I said, you can tell that. I think it was Jeffrey's son, Fabian, who was at that time probably 10 or 12 or something, who both trimmed out the side skirt on this car and went with the wider wheels on this one. Because when you're 10, wider tires sticking out of the back of the car is cool. I thought so when I was 10. Anyway, this is a slotted too, as you can see. And had a weight or magnet glued in at one point down here. Has since come off. I might have taken that off, I don't remember. And it needs a little work. When you turn this, it sticks a little bit. The gear mesh is too tight, so I'll take it apart. And what's interesting with this car too is it has these body spacers. You see, those are unique. I don't have any other Scalextric car that has these body spacers. So, Scalextric has slotted. I don't have any other slotted car that has these body spacers. And it's got, like an NSR, it has the axle adjustment screws. That's what those two brass screws are. So you can adjust the ride height. That's why it's sitting there, because it's a slotted, just like this. It's got the stock motor, probably more in the 20, 21, 22, 25 slotted, it depends. Anywhere from like 18, 19 up to like 25 probably, that motor. Then this was interesting. When I said I had 8 DPR cars with the door, I underestimated this. 4, 6, 8 plus the Nighthawk. God, I gotta stop that. The GTE is underneath there. The GTE is DPR, and so is the Jaguar. So I think I have 10. I have 10 cars. Believe it or not, this muscle car. Remember I mentioned I have a badass Challenger when I was showing you the Charger and the Camaro. It's got the door. I guess it's just all the newer cars come digital ready, and this must be a newer car. So it's not a LMP. It's not a, I consider it a street car. It's kind of like off on its own here in the middle. I have all the DPR cars here, but you see they're kind of grouped into LMP. The Chapparel, it's like kind of a, it's got the door, which again surprised me also. I was very surprised when the Chapparel had the door and the Challenger had the door. And one of my Vettes, I told you I have a bunch of Vettes. Well, here's a C6, I believe. Does it tell you? Corvette. Yeah, it's got to be 6. Or it just says Corvette C5R. And that's one of the things that, as a Corvette guy, I love the C3s, which are the Coke bottle ones, like the flamed one I have inside and the white one next to it, the L88 hood, the 427 motor. To me, the best years of Corvette were 68 to 82. Then after that, my next favorites are the 63 to 67 C2s, and yet they're very famous and very valuable. like the 63 split window, right? It had the frame going up between the rear window, which made it hard to see, but it looked badass. So that's an iconic collector car. And then by the end of the run, 63, 4, 5, 6, and 7, by the 5th year, the last year, they really nailed that car down. And the 67 Vettes are some of the nicest driving Vettes out there. And again, you could get the 427 big block in the 67, and they rode great. They had that car dialed in. And then, of course, when 68 they came out with the C3s, there was a host of problems because it was a brand new platform, new chassis, everything. So, so I'm not that fond of C5, C6, C7 because they all look alike. I couldn't tell. I'm a Corvette guy, and I couldn't tell if that was a 5, 6, or a 7 because they all had the same shape. They all had the yellow liveries when they ran in like Le Mans and Daytona. There's like 3 cars with 3 yellow liveries. So I like Vettes, and I'm going to have C5, C6, C7, C8, even though I don't particularly, to me, if I get a C6, I'm not that excited about it because I have a C5 and I will get a C7, and it's like, it's not much difference. But, I will eventually get one of all, as a collector, including a C1, which are kind of hard to find, the first generation, 53, 55, and then 56, 57, C2s up to 62. Those are, I think I've seen those. I've seen them out there on the interwebs, so I'm sure I can pick up a C2. C1 will be a challenge. And anyway, the LMPs, which I mentioned before. So 4 of them were in that initial thing I showed you, which have no door. And these 4 are all out here because, again, they have the door. Everything in this lineup is DPR. After I pulled them all out, I said, I probably should have got more than 2 cars and chips. But that's okay. And, they all have lights. I'm not sure about the Ginetta. This might not have lights. I don't know. That looks like just plastic, but I'll check. But anyway, the ones that have lights will get that chip that I'm going to put in the Nighthawk, which is the lights. Because, again, there's so much on the digital that when you're coding the car to the handset, it lets you know it's coded by flashing its light. When you use the fuel function, it lets you know it needs fuel by flashing its lights. It lets you know it's full by flashing. It uses the lights to communicate with the driver. So that's kind of a big deal in the digital world. And so I'm really happy that the GTE has it and the Nighthawk has it. And again, I'll check and make sure I'll verify that these are all working lights. But 2 of my favorite cars are the Caddy and the Mercedes, which are silver and very streamlined LMP cars. I'd love to add them here, but again, they don't have the door. So I'm going to have to hardwire the chip in. I will, because I like those cars and I want them to run digitally. But the other thing I just ordered, I got more stuff on the way, as I mentioned, is 1 or 2 light kits to be able to put lights into a car that doesn't have them. So the other thing I was looking at was, do any of the LMP cars have the same chassis as the Vette or, say, the Charger? Because while I like these cars, again, the Vette's part of my collection, it's like I like the Mercedes better, the LMP car. So to me, they look similar, not identical, but similar. Yeah, so one of the things I'll do is take the body off the C5 and see if one of my LMP cars fits on it. And just, not permanently, but just for racing purposes, I can put a LMP body on the Vette chassis. Not sure. I don't know if I can do it or not. I'll try, because that will be fun, and that's one way to solve the problem. instead of having to go in and hardwire a chip into those guys. The only things missing from, so what I have 17, right? So 21, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. And then the Charger, the Camaro 29, 30, the GTE 31. I'm not even counting the Carreras. And then inside here, I have my 2 sets, the original 2 sets I bought, and in there are the 4 cars. So 35, I got 35 Scalextrics, not including the 2 slots that holding for Jeffrey. The Mustang and Camaro, if you remember them, they were some of my most dependable cars when the track was giving me a hard time. And the 2 GT40s, the light blue Golf livery, and then the dark blue. So that's it, 35, and then now I've got 5 Carrera Digital, so that's 40. Believe me, there's people out there with a lot more cars than that. And I'm ordering more. And if you're like, why, you lunatic, you have more cars than you know what to do with, valid point. But for the hobby, for me, as much as I love running the cars around the track, is seeing a beautiful car online. Like in the old days, it'd be a catalog. You'd look through a catalog, right? Now you see online a beautiful car and you want it. You want to own it. And it comes and you open it up. That's why unboxing videos are so popular. The excitement of opening a new car up and unpackaging it, you know, and making it yours and adding it to your collection and displaying it. That's a big part of the hobby. A big part of the hobby for me and for many others is shopping. You know, my girlfriend likes to go to the mall and get clothes. I like to look online at the stores that sell slot cars and, you know, look at the slot cars. You know, like I told you with that Marcos, the Fly Marcos, I looked at that about 6 or 7 times before I ordered it. And the same with the Camaro, 36, I forgot the Camaro. 36 cars, okay. Not including the thing, so that makes it 41 cars total. So yeah, I looked at this car a bunch of times, all those orders, all those unboxings I did, and I looked at this car and said, man, that's a cool car. I really like the sayings on it, you know, it's funny almost on and everything, and it's a Carrera and I don't have any Carrera, and I should try it, blah blah blah. So yeah, it's acquiring cars, collecting cars that you like. Like I said, I got the C5R, and that's my least favorite generation of Corvette. Well, why'd you get it? Because it's a vet, and I collect Corvettes. So that's it. It's that simple. And I have been more disciplined with the Carrera. You know, I've only bought GT3 cars, so kind of like class racing, like I talked about. And I have one on the way, another one, and I'll give you a sneak peek. It's not a Porsche. When I did my last video, I said, yeah, I have 5 cars. I want 6 because you can run 6 at the same time. Eventually, I'll ghost 5 cars and race against them with one of them. I again said it's going to be my favorite, which I don't know yet. Or have A come in and race Pinky. I'll race my favorite and we'll ghost 4 cars because that's the most you can have that the CU can control is 6 cars total. So that was the goal, was to buy 6 GT3 cars, and I did, and it's coming. One of the cars that got crushed was this same car that is, you know, again, on its way, and I'll do an unboxing and show you. But new, you know, little spoiler alert, it's not a Porsche. So another car with another livery grabbed my attention. So anyway, just wanted to show you. I went through the Scalextrics today. I broke them out into categories. These are all the DPRs. There's the 2 slotteds. The Carrera car waiting for tires. They're on the way from America. and all the other ones in there, which I left in there because, again, they're only able to run analog, and unless I wind up shifting the track down, which more and more makes sense to me because it's the easiest, fastest way to handle it. Yeah, until I move that down, I can't run analog here. So anyway, that's it. It's like a running Scalextric cars on a Carrera Digital or non-digital track update.